would think actually about what the nature of the word sustainable means. I think if we, one of the things is we imagine that sustainable means something that's good for the environment or something that's helpful, but if you go back to understanding where the term came from, you can actually look at the first sort of managed forestry that started happening in Germany. Where the approach was to say, now we are going to take the wood, we're going to remove it, but we need to make sure that we can produce enough wood that we can continually keep up with the demand. And so that's where managed forests came from. And that's a sort of, actually, historically, the term sustainability comes out of this notion that we can manipulate nature in a way to make it support our needs. So in that sense, I would say absolutely sustainable materials can be made commercially viable, because that's actually the history of what they are. And to me, the more important question then is to take that further and say, well, what is it that we're trying to sustain? Are we trying to sustain the levels of consumption that we have now? Are we trying to sustain a certain kind of lifestyle? Or are we trying to sustain the origin of the materials, the environment where they're coming from? And I think that is the greater challenge. It is one thing to say, can we use materials that we can reproduce and we can make the production of them more efficient so that we can keep up with ourselves. But then the more important challenge, which we are focusing less on, is how can we change the patterns of use so that we are not demanding so much on the source of our materials. And I think that's one of the greatest challenges that we have today.